just getting set up here. I am on TikTok and my YouTube channel. I have software that allows me to stream in more than one place. And TikTok, usually what they do is they send out notifications. YouTube doesn't do that. And I can see on TikTok, I can see who's coming on. I can see people's names. YouTube does not show me that. So if you don't comment and you're on my YouTube channel, I don't know who's here. Good morning, Caleb. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Because I'm seeing the last few days, I'm seeing names I've never seen before. Good morning, Claudia. Um, good morning, Keith. If you're jumping on and this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Albert. I'm seeing some new people. So if this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Keith, well, welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Good morning, Mariah. Good morning, Albert. Good morning. Is it Type Cape 9? Is that what people call you? I realize some people when you're setting your social media profiles, well, some people don't put any name at all, and I don't recommend that, but you're putting the name of something you're supporting is what I have to assume. Good morning, Saul Ola. If I'm not saying that correctly, I apologize. Good morning, Godwell. Good morning, Gamma. If you're jumping on and this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I'm here. I'm on social media. Thank you, Keith. Good morning to you too. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Primi. I'm here. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And there's a lot of us that we live stream every single day. Now, I started doing this a little over 2 months ago. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Yes, and if anybody, if you'd like my live, I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't matter if you're on my TikTok account or you're my YouTube channel. That helps my account out. I'd really appreciate it. And TikTok does show me that. It shows me who's coming on. It shows me if somebody likes the live. There's a whole gift thing that TikTok does that they show that at the top of the if somebody's live streaming like I am right now, up at the top, you can see the list. They call them gift badgers. So they do show me that. Good morning, Edie. So if you like the live, I really appreciate that. And it helps my accounts out. YouTube does not do that. And I can only see, YouTube does not tell me who's on unless you comment. Good morning, Nomad Dad. Good morning, Eds. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Heidi. Good morning, Sandy. If you're jumping on, this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Sephora. Good morning, Thirsty Al. Good morning, T. Scanlon. What do people call you? Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Probably can make it to New York City from where I live in about 2 hours. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, BMH. Good morning, Owen. Good morning, Nick. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I'm seeing names I don't recognize. Where are you coming in from? I'd love to know why you're on social media. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. This month is my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. And I lost my job. That's what got me into that. And that was 14 years ago in August. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. I worked in cancer research for 16 years. It was the worst job market ever. People were getting 1,500 resumes or applications for one job. So if you're even made it out of the stack, because usually what they do is you'd have to fill out the application and all that, and then they were giving you tests. It was taking 2 to 3 hours to fill out one application, and then you get an automated email from them saying, thanks for applying. If we're interested, we'll get back to you, and then you don't hear anything. Good morning, Kay. Good morning, Nick. If you're jumping on, this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. So that's why I'm on social media. I've had days in this industry where I've made more money in a day than I made in a whole month when I was still working a job. So that's for me has been life-changing, and how many other people. Good morning, Don. You can get this down to 2 hours a day, but there is work involved. And if you've never, and it's about mastering skills, mindset, and your mindset and skill set. That I found that to be totally true, because a lot of this is mindset, and a lot of people, good morning, Victoria, don't even start because your mindset, you can't even get to a place that even make a decision. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Delari. Good morning, Franklin. Good morning, Kat. If you're jumping on, and this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Gert. Where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. If you could like my live, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're on my TikTok channel or my YouTube channel or my TikTok account. Good morning, Kelly. I really appreciate it when you like the live. It helps my account out. And TikTok actually kind of keeps the count of that, because when somebody does a gift badge, they tell me that shows up. TikTok shows me a lot more when I'm live streaming than YouTube, because I can see who's coming on. So if somebody jumps off, and on these lives, typically that's what most people are doing. They're jumping on and off. You're not just getting on my, excuse me. You're not just getting on my live. You're jumping on other people's lives. Good morning, Michelle. So if you like the live, I'd really appreciate it. I've been doing these. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I was here yesterday. I'm here today. I'll be here tomorrow. If you have a question, drop it in the comments. There's something I can help you with, because most of you, you're on social media for a reason. And when I ask that, like, why are you on social media? Like hardly anybody wants to answer. Good morning, Sandy. And I do believe that most of you, and maybe you have a cause you're supporting. I did have somebody that she's got a nonprofit organization she's promoting to support women who've been victims of domestic violence, and she's using social media to get exposure. And if you could like my live, I'd really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. But she's on using social media to promote that, and it doesn't matter, if it's that, or you've got an online business, maybe you have a message you're trying to get out. You still want to learn how to use social media correctly. And most people, a lot of people I see are not using it correctly. I'm getting people that private message me or spamming my videos or this live with their stuff. And you don't want to do that. If you're promoting something and you're, going one by one to people, that's prospecting, that does work. You always want to ask them if they'd be open to taking a look at something. And then if they say no, just say thank them for their time and then move on. Good morning, Tina, because that's spam. And whether you could be private messaging somebody with a link to something, or putting comments on people's videos or their post, that is spam. You always want to ask. And I know a lot of people that come into this and they've never done this before. They're not doing it correctly. They're not using social media correctly. And then they end up spamming people. Good morning, Frank. Nobody likes that. I have people private message me, and my call to action is never to private message me. Good morning, Rosemary. Good morning, Jenny. Where are you coming in from? I'd love to know what part of the world you live in. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Love to know if anybody wants to share why you're on social media. And how much time do you spend scrolling on social media every day? And when I've asked that question, I had one person, a woman, answer, and she was honest. She said, I spend way too much time on social media. And a lot of people, you may say you're only going to get on for 10 minutes. And then 10 minutes goes by, and then it's a half an hour, 2 hours. And you're just, it's not an income producing activity now. While I'm on social media, I'm making money. TikTok actually pays me for these lives. It's not a lot of money, but you can get monetized. And TikTok has a bunch of ways that you can get monetized, but you have to get paid for what they're paying me for. You have to have 10,000 followers, and you have to have at least 100,000 views in the last 30 days on your account for them to even, send you something and say, hey, if you want to apply, you can apply, because then you have to apply and they have to accept you. I've gotten accepted. I don't know if they reject people. I don't know what the criteria would be. If you don't meet those metrics, they're not going to send you an invitation. Good morning, user 6816. Good morning, Denny. If you can like my live, I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't matter if you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account. TikTok does show me when people are liking it. YouTube does not. YouTube doesn't tell me too much of anything except the time I'm streaming and the number of people I'm on. It's very different if I go to somebody else's live, and I have jumped on people's live streams. Good morning, Keith. You can see the chat on YouTube, but TikTok shows you a whole lot more. And I can see people liking it. Thank you for liking it. If anybody else wants to like the live, I can see the hearts coming up on TikTok. YouTube does not show me that. And I am live streaming in two places. I've got software that allows me to do that, and that because of the technology, it's one live stream. It's showing up in two places, so that gets you more exposure, and it's technology. And the cool thing about the software I'm using, when I end this live stream, they'll automatically upload the live stream to as a piece of content on my YouTube channel. And unless I delete it, it stays there. But YouTube, TikTok, from what I can see, they only save them for 30 days. And it looks to me, YouTube does the whole recording of the whole thing. It looks like to me like TikTok is breaking them up. And then after 30 days, they're not available. And I think for a long time, TikTok didn't even save them at all. So thank you for liking the live. And anybody else wants to like it, I really appreciate it. Good morning, David. Good morning, G-Biz. Good morning, Gail. I can see that people are doing that. TikTok does show you that. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Raymond. So if you're jumping on, I'd love to know where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. What part of the world you're in? Love to know why you're on social media. And most people don't want to say that. Good morning, Jersey girl. I used to live in New Jersey. I don't now. But good morning, Carol. Good morning, user 6816. Good morning, all in one place. Good morning, Raymond. If anybody wants to like my live, I'd really appreciate it. And if some of you have been liking it, I appreciate that so much. That helps my account out. If you're jumping on, I'd love to know where you're from, why you're on social media. And I do believe that most of you are on social media because you're looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And how much time do you spend on social media a day? I've had one person be honest, and I've been doing these now for over 2 months, and her honest answer was, I spend way too much time on social media. If you're spending a lot of time, I get paid to be on social media. If you're spending a lot of time scrolling on social media, why not get paid for it? Good morning, Right Tyree Powered. Good morning, GBiz 757. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, I'd love to know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I've been doing this. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. This month is my 14-year anniversary. I haven't worked a job in 9. I got started in this industry because I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. It was the worst job market ever. People were getting 1,500 resumes. And if they even contacted you, because what you would do when you did apply, you get an automated email that would say, thanks for applying. And the reality is you're not going to hear from them again. Because over a course of a year of me applying for jobs, I got 3 interviews, and I never had trouble getting a job. Worst job market. I went from having a decent paying job and being debt free to losing 2 jobs and found myself drowning in $250,000 of debt. I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I had no idea how I was going to get out of this mess. And if it wasn't for this industry and digital marketing, I don't think I'd still have my house. But yeah, so I'm grateful for it. And I've had days in this industry where I've made more money in a single day than I've made in a whole month when I was working a job. And for me, that's been life-changing. Good morning, Timmy. Good morning, Panda. Where are you coming in from? I'd love to know what part of the world you're coming in from. And YouTube, unless you comment, I don't know who's on. YouTube does not show me that, so I can't shout you out. So I just put a good morning in the chat, because if you don't say anything, I don't know you're there. And I think that's one of the things that people love these live streams so much, because you can jump on and off. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be accountable. You could be laying on your couch and just have your phone in your hand and jump on somebody's live. You could be sitting on a toilet for all anybody knows. So there's no accountability, and it's very different if you're doing what I'm doing and you're hosting live streams like this, because I've been doing these every day now. Actually, today's 67 days in a row I've gone live on TikTok and YouTube. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. Good morning, Pat. Where are you coming in from? Thanks for jumping on. Good morning, Fetus, and I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Where are you coming in from? I believe for a lot of you, if this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes, because I'm seeing a lot of names I haven't seen before. Good morning, Marie. Why are you on social media? I was just sharing. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. You're from New York. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Red Blood Demiri, if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Somebody just gave me a flash goal. I'm not sure what exactly that is. Good morning, Jay. If you're jumping on, where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. I do believe, I do believe most of you are on here because you're looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results you want. If you have a question, drop in the comments. If you've got something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. If it's something I've done, because I don't think you can train or teach in something you haven't done. Good morning, Laura. But the one thing is, if I haven't done it, I can probably give you a resource. I did have somebody on one of these that wanted me to do a video on CPA marketing. I know what that is. I've never done it or really made money with it. I have an idea how it works. But I was able to give him couple of resources, because if you're really trying to learn something, and if you're trying to learn, especially if you're trying to learn something new, you've got to invest time and money into it. Good morning. Is it Danza? Good morning. Good morning, Pam. Love to know where you're coming in from. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. So if somebody does have a question, drop in the comments, or there's something you're trying to figure out and you need some help, drop in the comments. I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. Now, somebody's left some nasty comments because TikTok is sending me a message. So, I mean, if they're first, because a lot of times they'll filter it out. But how I go, if you make a negative comment on my lives or any of my content, I immediately block you, because I put too much work into this for people to be negative. And people do that, and I get people messaging me. I'm not an employee, Danza. I don't have I don't have jobs, if that's what you're looking for. I'm an entrepreneur. This is a business that I run, and I show other people how to do the same thing. But I'm not I don't have any employees on payroll. I'm not on anyone's payroll. I work for myself. I make my own hours. So if you're looking for a job, I don't have that. I'm not your girl. And I know if you're looking for remote jobs, I will tell you they're very hard to get. East Coast of the United States, where are you from? A lot of you don't. Okay, I just said that. Did you? I don't know. Let me know if somebody's listening here. I do online marketing. Making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. It's a business. It's digital marketing. You work from home. You can get it down to 2 hours a day. I mean, I have a mentor because I tried doing this on my own and didn't make any money. You can't do this by yourself. But this is the kind. We have over 56,000 people in our community and there's how many of them they've quit their full-time jobs, because the truth is, no matter where you live in the world, you're probably living paycheck to paycheck. And if you had an emergency, you don't have the money aside. Most people don't have $1,000 in savings, and some people are living in poverty. And probably somebody who needs to hear this today, so I'll say it. It's your birthright to be wealthy. It's my birthright to be wealthy. God didn't mean for anybody to be living in poverty and broke, and yet so many people are. And a lot of it's mindset. And I know when I started this, my mindset was broken. So you have to train your mind. And something good for you, if you want to start listening to something, go to YouTube, search The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and start listening to that every day. A friend of mine shared that with me like over 8 years ago. And the first time I heard that, I thought that was so profound. But if you start listening to that and train your mind, because when you say you're broke, you say you can't afford something, you don't have the money, you're planting that in your mind, and what you plant in your mind is what you get. If you keep saying you can't do something, same thing, you're just going to keep getting more of that. So don't let those words roll off your lips. Learn to train your mind, because a lot of this is mindset in your head, and what's between your ears. And I know when I got into this industry, I had to do a lot of work on that. And that is, it's not, yeah, you do got to master marketing. You got to learn marketing. You got to master some skills, but you have to master your mind. And so many people that I meet, your mindset's so broken, you're not even going to be able to make a decision about anything. So go over to YouTube, search The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and start watching that. There's a bunch of videos. They're all the same thing. Just pick one. You can pull it up on your phone. Good morning, Sue. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I haven't. I do online marketing, making money from home. I haven't worked a job in over 9 years. I don't need a job. I don't want a job. Good morning, Kel McGraw. Thanks for jumping on. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. That's one question that so few people will answer. And another one is, how much time do you spend on social media? If anybody wants to be honest, I did have somebody, the one person who's answered that, and her response was, I spend way too much time on social media. So if you're spending hours, or how much time, good morning, Miguel. Thanks for jumping on. Good morning, JD. If you're spending hours scrolling on social media, when I'm on social media, I'm getting paid. Why not get paid? Because TikTok pays me, and it's not a ton of money for doing these lives. They do have a monetization program. Most platforms do, but you have to qualify to even apply. You need 10,000 followers, and you have to have 100,000 views over the last 30 days, which I just got this account. And I started posting on this TikTok account and my Instagram account last June. I'm over 100,000 followers now. I got monetized on TikTok. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I'd be monetized over there, but they stopped the program. Good morning, Isaac. Where are you coming in from? And you're saying, well, Isaac, if you want more information about what I do, I'm going to put my website here in the chat. You want to go to my website. The website's payudaily.com, and go watch the 2 videos. Read the page, find out about what your options are and the cost. You'll get an email from me with a link with a free PDF that you can download, and you can save that to your computer. That's yours to keep. The program's not free, the PDF is. And then if you've got any questions after you go through that, because it should answer all your questions. I know when people have not watched everything by the questions they're asking me. So you can see what we're doing. It's digital marketing. There's a couple different options. You decide what's the best one for you based on your goals and your dreams. And we have a community of over 55,000 people. In fact, I have a video I've done. I'm going to put it on TikTok about community and I was talking about why so many people come into this industry and they quit. One of them is because they're doing it alone. And then when you start doing stuff alone, you start questioning everything. And then you end up freezing and not doing anything. And if you don't do it, and there is work involved with this, you won't make any money. This is not a quick fix. I have people that message me like on a Monday and tell me they're getting evicted on a Tuesday. This is not a quick fix. There's no guarantee of income. If you need money right away, Uber operates in 70 countries. You could go sign up with them. If you don't have a car, they have a program that will help you get a car that you can use. And you drive today for Uber, you get paid today. I've used Uber as a customer. Now, when I lost my job, stuff like Uber and DoorDash and all that wasn't around. And Uber does operate in 70 countries. So chances are there's something near you that you could go sign up for it. And I think it's relatively easy, though I haven't done it, but you can drive today and get paid today. And a lot of you're looking for a quick fix, and I don't have that. That's not what this is. In fact, the first year I got into this industry, I didn't make any money. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a system. I was sending traffic to a replicated website that I bought, which you never want to do. You don't know what you don't know. If I had a mentor would say to me, you're sending traffic to a replicated website, and that doesn't work. I did that for a year, and then I realized I had to find somebody that had done what I wanted to do. And learn from them, because success leaves clues, and you want to model what's already proven to work. Good morning, Annette. Where are you coming in from? If you're new, drop a yes, because I'm seeing the names coming up here on TikTok. If you like my live, I'd really appreciate it. Doesn't matter if you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel. That helps my accounts out. And TikTok does show me when people like it. YouTube does not. So, I mean, if you're looking for a quick fix, this isn't it. You can learn. It's high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks, but it's going to take you longer to master it, and how long it's going to take you to get a sale. And we had somebody in our group posting. She said, "I've been doing this for 3 weeks, and she hasn't made any money." And I responded to her and said, "I didn't make a dime the first year I did this. It took me 6 years to have my first 4-figure day and 7 to have my first 5-figure month. And most people will not stick around long enough." Good morning, Sue. To see a result. They won't stick around long enough. They won't put enough work in and work on getting better, both your mindset and then your marketing skills, to get to a point where you can make money. And there's so many people in our group, they're making enough money now that they've left their jobs. Now, I haven't worked a job in 9 years. Good morning, Tony. I got into this after I lost my job. It was 14 years ago in August. I couldn't find another one. And somehow I knew people were making money on the internet. I think it was God telling me. And I literally went to Google, searched make money online. I bought a website. They sent me a 3-page PDF with how to set up pay-per-click ads. I sent up a bunch of pay-per-click ads. I spent $3,000 on just the ads. And then however, I don't remember how much the website was. I did that for a year, sending clicks and impressions and all that to the website. Nothing converted. And you never want to send traffic to a replicated website, a sales page, or just a website with information, because the issue with that is you only have one chance to talk to the person, and then they're gone, and you probably not have an opportunity to talk to them again. Most people are not going to buy on first touch. And I do get some sales on first touch. Most people have to see something multiple times before they make a buying decision. And yeah, and how you do that is you set up a website where you get the person, their email address, you get them on your email list. You want to build an email list because that's the only thing online you really own. You don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. I've lost 10 TikTok accounts, one that had over 200,000 followers. I lost 3 Instagram accounts. Somebody hacked my account, deleted it. I had 2 others that Instagram suspended, and then they didn't rule in my favor. So I had to start again on both TikTok and Instagram. And last June, I started posting 3 videos a day on each of those. I just hit 100,000. Now I think I'm over 110,000 on TikTok. I got monetized there, so they're paying me to be on here. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I'd be monetized over there, but they did. Instagram discontinued their program, so you can't get monetized anymore. They used to pay people for views on your reels, and they stopped that. Not really sure why, but they did. But you can get, most of them have some sort of monetization program. And TikTok is always sending me stuff because, well, they want me to create videos about different things. And I'm not going to do that because if it's not congruent with what I'm doing, it's just going to confuse people. But they have different ways, and you can set up good morning, Deborah. Deborah Levy Moja, a very really good friend of mine. Her name's Debbie Levy. So there's more than 2, I think, probably Debbie Levy's in the world. Where are you coming in from? And I'm on the West Coast or the East Coast of the United States. I'm outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm on social media because I do online marketing and making money from home. And I teach other people how to do the same thing. I haven't worked a job in over 9 years. This month is my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I've had days where I've made more money in a day than I made in a month when I was still working a job. So it's been life-changing for me and so many other people. We have people in our group now that are starting digital marketing is what we're doing. They've left their jobs now. Good morning, Israel. Thanks for jumping on. Good morning, James. Where are you coming in from? Somebody wants to tell me why you're on social media. And probably nobody's going to say anything because so few people answer that. And the other question I asked that nobody wants to answer, how much time a day do you spend on social media? Good morning, Dylan Boy 504. Is that what people call you? I did have one person, and I've been doing these now for over 2 months, that she said how much time does she spend on social media? She spends way too much. And she's the only person that was willing to admit that, because I think what happens with a lot of people, you say you're only going to get on. Good morning, Clayton. You're from Ghana. Good morning. Well, thanks for jumping on. you jump on, you say, you're only going to be on for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Half an hour goes by, an hour, 2 hours, and from this woman that she was being honest, spending a lot of time on social media, she's not getting paid for it. And you could be getting paid. Good morning, Carl. How's the baby? Carl and I, we've known each other for a long time, and Carl had a baby. Actually, the baby was a year old in May. And he has a son, Tony, that, both of them keep him busy, but he's been able to, because of the thing him and I are doing, pay off all his credit card debt, pay off his car, and be home with his kids. And since his daughter, she was a year old in May. Baby's good. And Carl was just talking about it, and he's been able to do that because of him and I. Well, there's a thing that the two of us are doing. We're not the only ones, but he's been able to do that and stay home with his kids. And a lot of people don't get to do that. And we have people on our group that actually have worked. There's one woman, she was working 2 jobs. One was a waitress job, and I'm not sure what the other one was. Not you're on your feet, but she said she was exhausted all the time. Coming home. Thanks, Carl, for liking the live. Really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like the live, I appreciate it. Whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel. But she's been able now to quit both of those jobs. She's got time to spend with her family, her kids. She's a single mom. And there's a lot of people, I've had people jump on this live. There was a guy, Hank, that jumped on. He's working 2 jobs. How many people are working 2 jobs because you can't make ends meet? You're living paycheck to paycheck. If you had an emergency, like your car broke down, or you had an unexpected medical expense or something, you wouldn't be able to pay it. Most people don't have $1,000 in their savings. There's a lot of people that are getting close to retirement, or they're trying to retire and they don't have enough money because you can't live off of Social Security. I think the most anybody could get is $2,200, and you have to retire. I think the retirement age, I don't know if it's Social Security is 70 or 72 to get the full benefit. If you take it before that, then you're getting less. And like 16, I had somebody else just tell me she's getting like, I don't know, $1,700 a month from Social Security, and nobody can live off of that, even if that's one person, let alone 2. There's a lot of people. We've got people from as young as 18 in our group to people in their 80s. There's people that have already retired. They don't have enough money, and Social Security is not going to cut it. And I know a lot of people that were healthcare professionals that they were 5 years or less out from being able to retire. And because of the burnout, and kudos to every single healthcare professional that worked through COVID and the pandemic, decided to retire because they were close to it. No, if you, Gaffard the King, if you have a question, drop in the comments. If you want to talk more privately, then you need to go to my website. Click the link there, paydaily.com, put your email address in. If you're curious at all and you want to know what I'm doing, you should go through all that material, get an email from me. I have a free PDF. You can download, save it. That's yours to keep. If you've got questions, respond back to that. But if you want to answer right now, drop a comment, drop your question in the comments. You can't, no, I don't take people. If you are a client of mine and you're not a private client, you could message me. There's certain people that can do that. And that's because we're friends, or we know each other. So if you can't drop in if you do have a question, there's no reason, because there might be some other people on here that've got the same question. Good morning, Tina. Because most people, for whatever reason, you get on these, most people don't want to say something. And they don't want to, what happened to the rapture? What are you talking about? Chef, and then I assume, good morning, Jan. I assume that's what people call you. With the rapture, that rapture that I know, I'm a Christian, is the end of the world. So I don't know what you're asking. Good morning. Is it Death? DA? If I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I apologize. Where are you coming in from? What part of the world do you live in? You have to learn it. It's a skill. Yeah, I can't tell you. I just can't tell you, oh, go do this. It's a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks. Okay, so store picks. I'm assuming that's your name. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And I've been doing this for 14 years now. I haven't worked a job in 9. And I got started in this when, good morning, Sassy Chick. I got started in this when I lost my job and I couldn't find another one. And anytime, a lot of people just can't open their mind to learning something new. And if you do want to learn something new, you've got to invest time and money into learning it. This is a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks, but you're going to have to work on it longer to master it. And the people that are successful here, it's mindset and skill set, and you have to master both. You have to master marketing skills. Oh, was it? Oh, really, Carl? I mean, I did see one video. I mean, right now, Carl, on social media, there's just, I mean, everything, no matter where I'm at, because I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, there's videos about Charlie Kirk. I mean, and a lot of people are taking clips of her speech that she made, which, I mean, I watched it a couple times. Um, and I mean, even President Trump went and spoke at it. I mean, there's really, I mean, he's a civilian. I mean, he's not like, I didn't know who he was before this. I don't know. Did you know him before this? Until this whole thing happens, um, I didn't know who he was. It gets added to the long list of times the world. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that is true. I know near where, and when I was still working in the city, and this was, I don't know, 5 years ago or longer, a guy was, and he was on one of the main streets in Center City with like a megaphone saying, Jesus Christ is coming back now. And, I think the police actually, I mean, because he was disrupting people in the city like that. A lot of people are walking around. I mean, I worked in Center City where I lived for a long time. I took a train downtown, and there's a lot, and you got tons of people every day commuting in and out of the city. And then at lunchtime, people go out, at lunch. But yeah, and I thought I saw something on TikTok, but lately, at least in my feeds, there's just so much stuff coming up about Charlie Kirk. Yeah, and it's even now. I mean, it is on some of the news stations because his thing was on Sunday. So yeah, but yeah, I know that that's happened a lot of times too, um, and nobody actually, if you are a Christian, nobody knows when that's going to happen, the day and time. God's not hasn't said that. Nobody knows. But if you are a Christian or whatever, I do believe that we get signs almost every day that we're in end times with all the and if you read the Bible at all, it does say there'll be floods and natural disasters and war and all that kind of stuff, and we are getting that now. Charlie Kirk was like and then the guy actually that was how many months ago that the guy that shot the president of United Healthcare. I mean, both of those were planned. I mean, they mapped out their schedules where they were going to be. I mean, the guy that assassinated Charlie Kirk did go to where he was speaking. He scouted the place out. He knew when he was going to be there. He picked the place where he climbed up on that thing. And the person that shot or tried to shoot President Trump at that rally, and that's in Pennsylvania where I live now. But it's Butler, Pennsylvania. I don't live close to that. That's closer up to Harrisburg, which is hours from me. But we are seeing stuff that in the world and I think it's almost every day anymore. And I watch nightly news to keep informed, but I don't watch the news before I go to bed anymore because it's just so negative. Talking about shootings and if somebody got killed and all that. So I do believe we are in end times, but there have been plenty of people going around saying, today's the end of the world or saying that, or whatever, however they put it. So, and if you're a Christian, if you've read the Bible, you do know, none of us know that. Yeah, actually, Carl, I do. I think because it's so. I mean, now David Muir on ABC, he does a thing. A section at the end about proud of America, and he spotlights somebody that's done something good, or they've got a business that's got I mean, I don't know if he picks it or the producer, but they do that at the end, which that's something positive. which I think we probably need more than that, because most of the time it's just so. Now, I will end up watching like 11 o'clock if I'm trying to figure out, oh, like now baseball, because my Phillies were going to the playoffs. We won the NL East to keep up with sports. But I have the MLB app on my phone, and I also have the Eagles app. Sometimes I will check the news because of sports, or if there's forecasting, like a storm or something. I mean, I've got the weather app on my phone, but sometimes there's more details on that. And I like the woman on the local station here, and she usually, well, there's two of them. I like both of them, but yeah, it's really depressing, and I don't watching that before you go to bed at night, and that's like the last thing. Thanks, Carl. Have a good day. Thanks for jumping on. So I don't like to watch the news for that. And it is all it is so negative. But if you want to be informed of what's going on in the world, and I did not know Charlie Kirk before this. Does anybody else know Charlie Kirk? Just curious. I mean, it's very unusual because he's getting a medal from President Trump, and they build a fund up that they've. And I know I'm pretty sure President Trump made a donation, but for somebody that's just a regular person, that he got that because there were so many people. At that memorial, and then people were live streaming it. And it really has been all over social media, but I didn't know who he was until I heard this, and I'm just curious, does anybody else know who he was before all this? So good morning, Digital Mommy. Good morning, Stuffy. Is that what people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Why I'm on social media, I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Why are you on social media? And most people don't want to, you don't want to say why you're on social media. And I do believe that most of you're on here because you're either looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And this is a high income skill. You can learn it in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but mastering it's a different story. And mastering this is, I mean, and that's how you become successful. And you have to master your mind and marketing skills. It's mindset and skill set. And I know when I got into this industry, my mindset was so broke. And a friend of mine, Keisha, shared with me 7 or 8 years ago, if you want something good to feed your mind, go to YouTube and search The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. There are a bunch of videos up on, you can pick one. And you can just pull it up on your phone and start listening to that, because what you plant in your mind is what you get. And if you're constantly telling yourself you can't afford something, you're broke, and if you keep telling yourself you can't do something, you're not smart enough, you're not this, that, you're just going to keep getting more of that. And it's really about training your mind. If anybody wants to like my live, I'd really appreciate it. It helps my account out, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. But if you keep planting things like that you're just going to get more of that. You got to learn to train your mind. Don't let the words roll off your lips. Train yourself. Don't say I'm broke. Learn it. And I can't tell you how many times when I've needed money, train your mind from saying I'm broke, I don't have the money, to how can I, if you need $500, how can I come up with $500? And I can't tell you how many times. And I learned that from Dr. Doug Fireball. You can go look him up on social media. Him and his wife are multimillionaires. They're entrepreneurs. They own a ministry in Michigan, although they're living in Florida now. But he was the one I first heard that from, and it is true. And if you listen to The Strangest Secret, it talks about saying things over and over again and what you're planting in your mind. And most people are doing that. You got to learn to train your mind. Good morning, Tammy. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Digital Mommy. Good morning, Country Girl 2376. What do people call you? Why you're on social media? Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. Curious to where other people, where you are in the world. Good morning, Lumpkins 5. Where are you coming in from? And I am live streaming in 2 places. Good morning, Stuffy. Good morning, General MD. Good morning, David. I am live streaming in 2 places. I'm on my TikTok account. I'm on my YouTube channel. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. That's one question most people don't want to answer. The other one is, how much time do you spend on social media every single day? And I've been doing these now for over 2 months. I've had one person, she said, I spend way too much time on social media. And I think for a lot of people, you say you're only going to get on for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you don't get off and it turns into an hour and then 2 hours and then 3 hours. Why not get paid? Because when I'm on social media, I'm getting paid for it. Most of you are on social media and you're not getting paid for it, and you're spending time scrolling. And what a lot of people do, because and TikTok shows me, you jump on, and I can see like somebody jumping on, then you jump off, you might go on somebody else's, and then you come back and you jump back on. I can see that. YouTube doesn't show me that, but you're jumping, and I'm certainly, there's how many of me and my colleagues that we do these lives and we're live streaming every day. Good morning, Teeny BB. Is that what people call you? My mentor went live every single day. She was doing the same thing I'm doing, TikTok and YouTube, every day for 2 years. And now she's about 3 years in with this whole thing, and she's made over $8 million. I believe that probably by the time this year ends, by December 31st rolls around, it'll be closer to 10 or more. Good morning, Keith. And live streaming is one of the things that she did. We have a blueprint we're following now. Live streaming isn't one of the things in the 2-hour blueprint, but I didn't do it when I first started. But it is something that can really, and I've heard my mentor say it, and I've heard other people say it, you should be live streaming on TikTok right now. And right now, if you live in the United States, President Trump did sign another 90-day thing that goes to December 16th, because the last one expired on September 19th. Whether TikTok's going to be banned in the United States or not, there's over 5 billion people on TikTok. And how many billions? I don't think all 5 are United States, but a lot of people from the United States are using TikTok. And if it gets banned, that's gone. Good morning, David. Good morning, Dre. Where are you coming in from? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If you have a question, I do online marketing, making money from home. If you have something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. I did have somebody ask me to do a training on social media marketing, which I did. Good morning, user 5520. Good morning, Jimmy. I also did one on email marketing, because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you don't have a system, and it's broken, because you're only giving people, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, if you're sending them to just a page with information, a sales page, a replicated website, you only have one opportunity to talk to them, and then they're gone. And if you're doing something, digital marketing is what I'm selling, and hope. If you're doing something and you have something you're trying to sell or get people to support you, you're only going to have one opportunity to talk to the person. If you do that, you want to send them to a landing page, a website, a capture page where you can get their email address. They're all the same thing. You need it because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. You want to be building an email list and get people on the email list. And it's an automated system with a website attached to it that you have emails going out. Yes, it is. But she's taught me, and some other mentors have taught me how to make. I'm just not making money with that. I've got now like 8 streams of income, how to create multiple streams of income. And if you're new, I do suggest you start getting one income coming in, like that's consistent, or you're getting regular payments from them before you start others. But I've learned some things about how you can create multiple streams of income. And I never thought about that when I had a job, and the job was my only stream of income. And then when you lose it, you're screwed. And I've learned a lot of things from her about how you do that. Because then you don't, and now that I know it, good morning, Alma. I never realized it when I had a job. Truthfully, I never thought about it, but you want to create multiple streams of income. Okay. Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, Goldman. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, if this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Where are you coming in from? I'm on the East Coast of the United States. I do, and I work from home. I haven't worked a job in over 9 years. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I haven't worked a job in 9 years. And this month, in fact, is my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I started doing this after I lost my job and I couldn't find another one. And I literally went to Google. I don't know how I knew people were making money on the internet. I think it was God. Went to Google, searched make money online. I didn't know anyone. I bought a website. They sent me a 3-page PDF that I was setting up pay-per-click ads. I was sending traffic to a replicated website. I spent $3,000 on the ads, and then whatever the website was, didn't make any money. I did that for a year. Then I knew I had to get around someone who had done what I wanted to do. And I found this industry. I was lost my job, couldn't find another one. I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I was being sued. My one brother passed away, and I was drowning in $250,000 of debt, and I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. Good morning, Kenneth. And I found this industry in digital marketing. Now, this month, it's 14 years later. I do believe I probably wouldn't still have my house if it wasn't for this industry. Yeah, because you're unfortunately, when you lose your job, your other expenses don't go away, and nobody wants to hear. And I know from being harassed so much, having people tracking me down because I owed them money, they don't want to hear what your problem is. They don't want to hear that you lost your job and you've lost your source of income. And that's why I only had one source of income when I was working a job, and I would never do that again. And I've been able, that's another thing I've learned since I've been doing this, how to create multiple streams of income. So, because if something happens to one, then you've got others to fall back on. And I never thought about that when I had a job. And the stuff that you can learn in this industry, they don't teach you. They don't teach you in school. Young billionaire TM does want it to be tech savvy to be great. No, and we do have tech support in our group. Because if you have problems, you can come in, ask a question. They got calls each week. It's really about mastering marketing skills, and then I'd say your mindset too. And it's a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks, but to master something, and if you've never done this before, you can get this down to 2 hours a day. If you've never done anything before, it's probably going to take you longer in the beginning because, I mean, I've done, I can cut content pretty quickly because I've been doing this for a long time. And so you'll want to and if you do keep doing something, you'll get better and better at it. But no, you don't have to be techie. And my mentor is not techie at all, and she's a self-made millionaire. So yeah, and she does have somebody in our group who is techie. But actually, there's 2 Michelles. She works for her. You can get on a call if you need it, which is cool. Good morning, Mark. If you're jumping on, where are you coming in from? I'd love to know where you are from in the world. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Why are you on social media? And why so people that get on these lives don't want to answer that question. The other question I want to ask it is, how much time do you spend a day on social media? I had one person, a woman, that she was actually honest enough to say, I spend too much time on social media. And I believe a lot of people will say, I'm only getting on for like 15 minutes. If you want more information, I'm not going to go over the investments because there's different choices. You need to come up to the top of my page. That's my website. And there, it's payudaily.com. Click on it. It'll take you over to a page. You put your email address in, watch the 2 videos, read the page. You'll get an email from me with a free PDF that outlines the blueprint that's yours to keep. Because you need to look at everything and decide what's the best for your goals and dreams. And maybe this isn't it. And if you have questions, that you can respond back to the email from me, because there's some place for everybody to get in, and that depends on your own goals. And I don't know your goals, and if you're brand new, you've probably never done this before. And I know when I started looking for ways, I didn't know anybody. And that makes a difference because you want to surround yourself with other people that are on the same path that you're on. Good morning, Pastor Victor. Where are you coming in from? If you're new on my live, comment yes, because I'm seeing names come up on TikTok that I haven't seen before. So I think there's probably quite a few of you. I am live streaming in more than one place. I got YouTube on my MacBook Pro, and I've got TikTok on my phone. And you're from Ghana, okay. Pastor Victor, I think you may have been on one of my others. The name sounds familiar. Good morning, Zeke. you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. Anybody want to answer that question? Or the other question is, how much time do you spend a day on social media? And I think a lot of you, and what a lot of people do is you say you're only going to get on for 15 or 20 minutes. You're from South Africa. Okay. You say you're only going to get on for 15 or 20 minutes. And then it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And then you've spent all this time. I mean, when I'm on social media, I'm making money. If you're scrolling, you're just scrolling and just looking at whatever, and it can be really distracting and you can spend a lot of time. Why not get paid for it? In fact, TikTok is paying me to do these live streams. And this is just, it's another stream of income I've created. And most of the platforms you can get monetized now. Instagram discontinued the program because I would be monetized over there. And they each have their own requirements of what you have to do to get even applied. Like on TikTok, you have to have at least 10,000 followers, and you've had at least 100,000 views over the last 30 days to qualify to even apply for it. But TikTok's constantly sending me stuff because they'll pay you to do, like, they want me to do a video about something that has nothing to do with why I'm on social media. So I won't do something like that because that would confuse people. But you can create a TikTok store, which I don't have that, and I don't know what that's about. But you are depending then, if something does happen to TikTok, you're going to lose your income or whatever. So that's why I say you want to create multiple streams of income, and being monetized on platforms that I use. And I use YouTube, and I've been monetized on there. I've made over 5 figures from that. I lost my monetization because I stupidly put a short video of Taylor Swift up that got over 10,000 views in a day. And then they dinged me for unoriginal content, and I got kicked out of their partner program. So I have to go through the whole thing. So now I'm working on, you need 4,000 hours of watch time on YouTube. And you need at least 1,000 subscribers, which I have, and then I can reapply. But most of them have monetization programs. Now, I don't know if Facebook's going to follow suit with Instagram because Meta owns both of them. And Facebook does have a monetization program. If they're going to stop that one or not, I don't know. But Instagram did stop it. So if anybody has any questions, got somebody, I know you said South Africa, somebody else from Seattle, Washington, welcome. Good morning, Greet. I'm not going to even try that. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. I do believe that most of you, and for whatever reason people don't want to say it, you're on social media because you're looking for ways to make money from home, or you've been trying, you're not getting the results that you want. And there are, I did have somebody on one of my lives that she has a nonprofit that supports women who've been victims of domestic violence, and she's using social media. Good morning, Mela. Good morning, Lady Diana. If you're jumping on, love to know where you're coming in from. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If you have a question, good morning, Lori. Drop in the comments. If you got something you want, good morning, Talia. If you have something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on one of these. Not today because I committed to doing these for an hour, and we're almost at an hour, but I could do it another day. I did have somebody ask me to do one on social media marketing, which I did. I did another one on email marketing, because if you're using social media and you're not using email, you're missing out. You don't have a piece in it, because I have a whole system that somebody gets in, and that's where the automation comes in. And if you're just sending people to a page with just information and you're not capturing their email address, because you don't own any of your social media accounts, you can lose them at any time. So you want to build an email list. You do need a tool called the autoresponder. You can start with one for free. Like the one I use, they give you up to 2,000 subscribers. But after that, you want to build that email list, and you may have heard that the money's in the email list. You would love to honey. I'm not sure what that means. Taylor, you also got a number 2 gift badger. So I'm not sure what, if you want to clarify your question. And if you do have a question, do it now, because I did commit to doing these for an hour, and the hour's just about up. So I'm probably going to end this in the next 30 seconds to minute. Unless somebody, you drop a comment, I'd be glad to answer. Hi, Hi, it's Jim. I'm going to call you Jim. You're checking in from Omaha, Nebraska, over here on my YouTube channel. And YouTube, unlike TikTok, doesn't show me who's on the live. So if you don't comment, I don't know who's here. TikTok does. So, and I can see people coming up. I thank you for whoever's liking the video. I appreciate it. Thank you. Shows me when people are liking the video on TikTok. YouTube, the only thing YouTube shows me is how many people are on, the number, and the time that I've been live streaming. So, tell you, if you want to do Adidas, that video is all I have. I tell you in the video where to go sign up. They may or may not approve you. You're not going to get any training or mentorship from that. So if you don't know how to use social media, the chances are slim that you'll make any money. And they only pay 1 to 5%. I mean, 80% of companies in the world have affiliate programs like Adidas. Nike has one, Walmart, Target, Amazon. On average, they pay you 1 to 5%. So if you even want to make $500, you're going to have to get hundreds of sales a month to make that $500. I average $900 a sale. So say I get 12 sales a month, that's $10,800. It's a lot easier to get 12 sales than it is to get hundreds. And that people are going crazy over that. Yeah, you can sign up for their affiliate program for free, any of them, Walmart, Target. But to me, it's not worth it to make 1 to 5%. You're going to have to get it. And if you want to make $1,000 or more a month, you're going to have to get thousands of sales a month. And it's a lot easier to get like 10 or 12 sales a month. And even with what I'm doing, because I average 900 a sale, for a lot of people, an extra $900 a month would really be helpful, because not everybody has different goals that decides to do this. If you just want to make some extra money, that's fine. I never got into that just to make some extra money. I didn't have a job and I couldn't find one. So looks like nobody else has any questions. I'm going to end this now. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for liking. I'll be here again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I'll see you then.